Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. I hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. It's a mad craziness over here. Why, you ask? I'm assuming. I just assume that you're answering. Why? Why is that, Gigi? It's because... Welcome to my world. It's because, once again, within 24 hours... I'm proved right. And to be honest with you, if we made this a drinking game, we would need help as a community, as the Greatest Good Village. We'd need to get interventions organised. Well, we wouldn't be. Other people would need to. All that kind of malarkey. Because I've been going on for a while about. Everybody else is going to go, for the new boys and girls, there is no such thing as left and right. It has never been for like good couple of decades now about left and right, Labour, Tories, blah, blah, blah. What there is, the scale is progressivism, progressives, and basically anarchy, craziness, absolute tomfoolery. And I've been constantly mentioning this over the years, and I've been kind of like recently kind of highlighting it even more. It's gotten like, so when they go, oh, the Tories did this and the Labour did that and blah, 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 it doesn't matter because a majority of them are progressives. That's how they want more control, more lockdowns, more this, more that, more digital ID, all that kind of progressive, claiming more control. And within the last 24 hours, as you know, I do like to keep out of a echo chamber as much as possible. I try and watch as much and listen to as much media from all sides as possible to see what's going on, different perspectives, that kind of thing, to come to my own conclusions. Try and become as educated as possible. It's not going well. However, in the last 24 hours, it is literally a drinking game of everybody like calling out progressivism or labeling themselves as progressive and stuff like that. Highlights include, but this is just tip of the iceberg, okay? Highlights include an exclusive interview between Andrew Marr, I believe it was, and Rachel Reeves on LBC. It's on their YouTube channel right now. The first 5 minutes, Rachel Reeves labels herself a progressive 3 times, I think it is. Then only like this afternoon, because this morning I've been trying to record stuff because I'm going on break this weekend, and then I'm gonna be visiting family, so I'm away for a week. So I've been pre-recording stuff, and then it's because it's Wednesday. It's obviously Deputy Prime Minister's question time this time round with Lammy. So, God, for goodness sake, there's a symbol of where things are going wrong at the moment. But I like watching. Like I said, like I've come to, it's part of my routine to start for Prime Minister's questions or Deputy Prime Minister's, the Times Radio Politics, because they take each question and then debate it amongst themselves on their YouTube channel, and I kind of enjoy that, and it's kind of interesting and like different points of view and to some extent and all that jazz, and I just find it informative. Now, one of the panel, I can't remember the guy's, the host's name off the top of my head. He's got the weird Dharma glasses right now, which is not a good look. I don't know where the big kind of like 80s big kind of brass, I think they're brass or fake gold, huge rimmed glasses. It seems to come into vogue all of a sudden. I don't know, it never looked good previously. It doesn't look good now, in my humble opinion. But he asked one of the panel, Patrick, how are you doing? And he's like, he went into this rant about the Labour Party. and how they're claiming like the latest New York mayoral election as a win for them. Oh, we finally worked out how we're going to get, to defeat reform and all that kind of stuff. And he went on this whole rant, which was like chef kiss how he didn't swear. It's like, mwah, well done him, which is very interesting. Go and watch it. It's on YouTube. After this, obviously, I mean, we need the YouTube pennies. But what was fascinating about that he is like, if you want to say progressivism is the term he used, and I'm like, it's not. It's just gone past midday. Like if this was a drinking session, this would be I'd be absolutely off my tree at this point. And it's fascinating how once again trend setting is basically what I'm taking. You and me, my dears, collectively trend setting. And no, we really shouldn't. We really shouldn't start that as a drinking game. Really, no. They're just the highlights. It is just erupted everywhere all of a sudden, this whole debate about progressiveness and isms and stuff like that. And people labeling themselves as such and so I'm only mentioning it to keep an eye out for it. And like ding-ling-ling-ling, they want more. Yeah, more of this. They don't want less of this. They're not listening to the electorate. They're not listening. They like what's happening and they want more. That's basically what they're saying. And they'll wrap it up as all, and this is broad strokes, but wrap it up as if this is a good thing. Oh, it's about the environment, or it's about gays and lesbians, or it's about this, that, and the other. Think of the children. Oh, it's all bouncy and all that kind of stuff. When really, profound changes, profound lockdowns and control and manipulation and that kind of stuff. So please keep an eye out. And if you see some more, comment down below just for the fun of it, just so we can have a look. Anyway, this question, because it's in theme, my dears, coming from yesterday's, I think it is. I'm doing so many readings at the moment. It's just trying to get ahead. I think it was yesterday's reading. Michelle said, "Great reading, Chi-Chi." Oh, thank you very much indeed. Love how you tell the story through the cards and how it all unfolds. I sense a suck-up sandwich coming, my dears. I've missed these. These are gorgeous. This is how you definitely can get your question asked. Basically bribery. It's basically... Could you please do future readings on whether the EU, WEF, UN, what we refer to as the alphabet spaghetti, those sorts of organisations continue or fail? Could you, I get they fall in the goodness of time. Would love to hear your take on them as they are riddled in corruption. Thanks you kindly, love and sweet kiss. She doesn't quite say the love and sweet kisses bit, but it's implied. You and I both know. Thanks, Michelle, and 21 upvotes as well. So I thought this was beautiful. A beautiful time, and I got nudged to kind of do this now, have a check-in as we're on... we're in the zone, yeah? It was beautiful timing how this one came in. So, can we have a check-in on the EU, UN, WEF, blah, 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 for the greatest good for all concerned? How they're doing, all that jazz. What was the actual words? I've been told to use the actual words, and those sorts of organisations continue or fail. The future of them, whether they fall, blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much indeed. For greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative. Yes. Okay, one more. Right. So, let's go and do this, bad boys. 9 of Wands defending their ground. Wow, wounded warrior. I feel like I'll be surprised if the sun card doesn't come out, kind of like spotlights. In kind of prison films, you've got the spotlights, searchlights, and then suddenly they're all kind of like all on them. Kind of like, what is it? Dr. Evil kind of trying to escape in like number 3 or whatever. And it's like all the spotlights come on him and Mini-Me at the same time against the wall. It's that kind of energy. Okay. 7 of Swords. Wow. Deception, betrayal, thieves in the night energy, etc., etc. Lying buggers. Technical term. 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups. That is obviously a partnership of some description. We're going to find out what this one is here. 8 of what? No, we're not. Doubling down. There is some sort of... I thought that we were going to find, like, who was going to be... this feels like a treaty of some description. Words, paperwork, signature, that kind of thing. Contract. Let's make it simple for us mere mortals to understand. A contract of some description, and it's doubled down. I was expecting who it was going to be kind of over here with, as an example, the UK government, blah, blah, blah. It could be just the UK government, because obviously we're in the UK, but... Oh, crap. Oh, this is why, my dears, this is why Labour keep saying, after every defeat they're getting right now, is that working people, what we need to do is people need to feel the differences in their real lives quicker and faster. We need to double down. That's what they're telling us. Then we need to double down. Working people. This is it. This is. They know they're being called out. They know they're being seen for the nasty evil. Let's be honest. At this point. They really are. And this is doubling down. This is getting faster. So let's go a bit further on here. High Priestess. All our intuitions know it. We're seeing it. We're sensing it. Around the world, it is quite frankly blatantly obvious. Blatantly obvious. Remember that everywhere, all at once, suddenly was building back better a couple of years ago. Like all the same, there is the amount of legislation that is duplicated around the world with the same wording, the same, for the same reasons, basically copied and pasted. It is unreal. Specifically since COVID, this really came to, into focus a lot more because they were so blatant, they were so arrogant about it. And that was their downfall because, and I keep on bashing on about it, Pluto in Aquarius. This new chapter, and also with kind of astrological stuff, there is a ramp up and a ramp down. Okay, so for example, as we're going into a new moon or a full moon, there is a ramp up to some people say 4 days, to at least 2 or 3 days. Yeah, but there is definitely a turning up the volume and then a turning down the volume. There's afterwards. Yeah. And so they were doing so much, they got away with it for 20 odd years, basically. When Pluto, no, Capricorn, was it with Capricorn? Oh, going backwards is difficult, but it's like, but it's that sort of situation where they were going out of their zone, their peak, which was big business, big pharma, big government, big centralized controls. Now we're in a chapter for the next 20 odd years about distributing that control. And was ramping up. And as of November last year, we're slap bang in it now for the next 20 odd years. And so the searchlight is on, the intuition, everyone can sense it, the buzzwords don't work anymore, that kind of stuff. Okay? 9 of Swords. That's you and me. This line feels like you and me. We've woken up. Yeah? We're not woke, we've woken up. We're seeing it, we're smelling it, tasting it, realizing it. 9 of Swords. Worried, anxious, sleepless nights. Concerned about what goes next, that kind of stuff. Yeah? Especially with this constant sneakiness, this constant cutting us out of decision making, that kind of stuff. Tower. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's over. I want to say now, because like I said, I've been reading a lot of the comments and stuff like that and getting a kind of the gist, the underlying, and I mentioned this yesterday, but that's why we focused on a bit on like spirituality and stuff like that. The reason why they burden you is so that you're out of your natural spiritual zone. Okay? And we mentioned it yesterday about becoming enlightened, releasing that baggage, going up into the right frequency, as it were. Imagine it as if it's you're trying to get a mobile phone signal. Yeah? The more they burden you, the more in the valley you are, the more downhill you are. Okay? In the valleys, that was crap, I know. In Wales or wherever, and you can't get a mobile phone signal. Okay? But you're burdened with your rucksack and all that kind of stuff. They're giving you more crap to deal with. Yeah? But your job, primarily, is to unburden, unleash yourself from that crud, those distractions, that manipulation, the BS, technical term, and to go up the hill to get a mobile phone signal to God, Spirit, Universe, whatever you want to call it. Okay, because I'm not here to decree to you your spiritual growth. Now, and as I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again, I do not care if you go through organized religion to get there, or if you do it yourself via spirituality and groups and things like that. Because at the end of the day, the route you get there, I don't care. The fact you get there, all right? So this here is reminding me to kind of inspire you to kind of like, not necessarily double down, but to see what things we need to like unload, anything else that needs to be kind of fixed, as it were, so you can progress up that hill to get a mobile phone signal. Okay? And then the Tower card. Bam. This partnership, this 8 of Wands, doubling down, crumbles. Okay? They want you down here. Okay? They want you to be in this way. And this is kind of, especially the last couple of months, where even before the summer break, I believe it was, where they constantly, welfare is too much, welfare is too much, welfare. Well, it's what you wanted. Yeah? You abused, quite frankly, in my humble opinion, mentally abused a country, and this is multiplied around the world over COVID. You scared the living bejesus out of people, and now you wonder why they're not functioning correctly anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's what they want anyway, if you get me. Because then you're malleable. You're as a collective able to be pushed into places to continue their betrayal and manipulation and all that crap. So it's a double whammy. They got what they wanted, but it's not too, oh dear, it's not quite right. It's too early. Blah blah blah. It's not working out as we envisioned. But the downfall is here. Notice how the anxiety is looking towards the Tower, the destruction of this crap out here. Yeah, this is where we're moving. We know what's going on. We go through a dark patch, and I know I'm belittling it, but please, yeah. And then Tower, bang, awakening, bringing this into the future for us. Okay, so this is a timeline for them, the alphabet spaghetti government, etc. This is you and me, basically, where we're to some extent grieving the past, grieving the loss of aspiration and the will, like what we want to do, realizing it's all a lie because of the controls involved, and then Tower, off we go. Yeah? This is quite literally Cartman, screw you guys, I'm going home kind of energy here. Yeah? Ten of Cups, there you go. There you go. Happily ever after. Notice it's not Pentacles, because it's all about the value, the worth, in the sense of emotion, like emotional connection, emotional stability, kind of harmonious in the sense of I don't, like, as an example, don't resonate for a 9 to 5 work stupid amount of hours to just then get a phenomenal amount of crap, then getting a promotion, but really it's even more crap and all that kind of stuff. This here, this well-being, if you will, is all about realizing it's all a lie, to be a good little slave kind of thing, going into the tinfoil hat kind of mentality of it, and realizing, no, actually, and I'm going to use Indoors and I as an example, actually, I don't want to live in a concrete jungle. What I actually want is to live on a couple of acres, on a homestead or a small holding or whatever you want to call it, little farm, and produce our own food and all that kind of stuff, disconnect from it. That's where Indoors and I are heading towards, yeah? And that's what we're talking about here, okay? And it may be different for you, and that is cool. But I'm just using that as an example, that kind of well-being, the realization that actually, yeah, and you can use it, and I don't mean this as disrespect, because once again, people are in difficult situations and stuff. We are totally off-grid here. The lights and powered by solar panels and malarkey and stuff, battery bank, etc., etc. I've said it before. Why I'm saying it is that this is the realization that everything's controlled as by design, and in actual fact, we should be taking controls back, in the sense of making that investment into maybe, so we don't have an electricity bill each month or quarter or whatever. Produce it ourselves, being more self-sufficient, whatever buzzword you want to put in there, but it's taking the control back. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what that is there, the Ten of Cups. We then got, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords don't take rubbish from anybody. Knee-jerk reactor. She can be harsh, blunt, to the point, but always truth. Always. This very much is you and me here so far, okay? Because it feels like it's been decreed from up high to us, and it's like, enough's enough. This here is that pushback, is that speaking it as it is, speaking truth to the BS up here, okay? Universe, wow, infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite, okay? The universe is one of the 4 extra cards in this deck, which we refer to as the Epic Arcana, okay? So this is speaking truth, calling them out for the BS, the hypocritical actions, Reeves recently, so on and so forth, calling it out, two-tier care, all that sort of stuff. That's the Tower. The Emperor has no clothes energy, okay? But always starts from what genuinely turns us on, speaking truth, and then we unlock infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite. All right? So, overarching energy, planting the seed of opportunity, Page of Pentacles, underlying energy, Sun. I'd hate to say, I told you so, so I won't. I don't. Sun card, happiest card in the deck. Happy, joy, floodlight. Do you see what? Yeah. So this as a foundation to the reading, the snapshot right now. At the moment, they don't know what to do. Up here, they don't know what to do. That's why the timeline is escalating. It's going faster. They're doubling down to try and get their end goal as quickly as possible. But time and time again, it is literally, especially over the last year or more on this channel, they get to kind of like a gnat's whisker, and then it just completely collapses. It completely falls apart, and we win basically. Okay. So now we've got the foundation for the new boys and girls. We go and do a bit of gossip, a bit of background stuff with the prediction deck, and then we move on into an outcome at the end. It's always at the end. Stop being so eager beaver. So we need to know context first, because the fundamental, or I keep on saying this, the fundamental concept of spirituality, religion, that kind of thing, is consent, intent. It's a balance. Okay, it has to be both. So with consent, you're asking to God, spirit, universe, angels, spirit guides, whatever you want to call them, yeah, to come in to help, to support, to give you guidance, to whatever it may be. That's the consent. The intent is also extraordinarily important. It's not to belittle other people. It is not to control. It's not to, if you get what I'm saying. It's all about your intent is pure. You want to develop, you want to grow, you want your family to be protected and safe and cloaked in that protection and on all that kind of stuff, if you see what I'm saying. So it's like, please come in for my pure, genuine want, as it were. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope so. And remember, and it's very important, and it's the reasons why we don't need to worry about. However, prayer works on, like everything, on vibrations. Okay? Think of it as simple as that. So speaking prayer, speaking it, meaningless. Okay? You're speaking, as an example, English, and as an example, God, Spirit, Universe speaks in Swahili. I don't know, right? So for you to speak your prayer, it doesn't compute. It doesn't translate. Okay? Prayer comes from within. Okay? So you can think the words that you're wanting to try and say, and then feel it from your heart, as it were, in your chest, to feel those kind of things. That's how prayer works. There's reasons why it's complicated. Just go with me. Another way of doing it as well, a very important thing that everyone keeps bashing on about, and because it's how what's the word I'm looking for? Disneyfied spirituality has become in the last couple of, because it's easy money, let's be honest, right? Especially for card producers, that kind of thing, books, it churns out nice income, yeah? However, yes, do the full moon rituals. yes, do the new moon rituals. However, each 28 days, the moon is in your birth star sign. Okay? It moves around to all 12 houses. Yeah? So, and it's for 2.5 days, I think it is, in each house. Every month, find out which 2 and a bit days the moon is in your star sign. Okay, so if you're Leo, it may be, as an example, I'm just pulling this out my flappy bot. Maybe the 21st and 22nd of November. It's not, but as an example. So those for you, and it's a lot complicated, and don't worry about the technicalities once again. However, that is your personal peak spiritual time. Each month will be different depending on where the cycle is. However, that is each month your peak time to really kind of take time to double down, cleanse, that kind of stuff. So you've got the new moon, the full moon, and then some point between those two, there will be your peak time. That's the time to double down on journaling and meditating and kind of spiritual cleansing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Grounding, that kind of stuff. Prayers. Don't need to go into why, just do. All right. Thummy. So let's get into, I'm sorry, but I'm hearing and I'm kind of feeling how people are commenting in over the last couple of videos, and it's like, okay, we need to double down. We need to kind of reset a little bit, kind of guide a little bit. Yeah, it's fundamentally important. So, and if you really want to go deep, then look into the Jewish calendar, because not everything, but primarily. Realizing and for spiritual times, okay, specifically when the dates and the days change, okay, which is from sunset. It's not midnight. Sorry, it's sunset to the next sunset. That is when a day was back in olden times. Okay, that is why, for example, the Jewish, beautiful Jewish people have their Friday dinner collectively thing. Yeah, basically it should be at sunset, but that's what they do. Yeah, so because that's the start of their Sabbath on the Saturday at the sunset of Friday. Okay, that is for spiritual times very important to kind of implement. Not every day, don't worry about it, but it's one of those situations especially when you're doing your peak spiritual moments during the month, when you're in the star sign, maybe put it in order. Cool, that came from nowhere, but that's my throat chakra just went woo, tickled more than anything. That's keep an eye on it is what I would say. So we've talked about language, how language truly works spiritually. We've talked about times, and we've talked about timings. So that should really get you going, as it were, hitting the ground running to kind of reset and refocus and recharge spiritually. Okay. They're the easy ones. Like I said, there's a lot of technical BS behind it. There's a lot of kind of like, we could sit here and I can pretend to be extraordinarily insightful about all that kind of stuff and buzzword and PowerPoint presentation and all that rubbish. For me right now, I'm for the longest time, it's not necessary, I don't think. For me, how I'm being guided is just it's to get people to do it. It doesn't matter the mechanics behind it. It's just do the right things. Yeah. Anyway. I thought these cards were ready, but they weren't quite. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you wrote notes. I hope you, obviously, if you need to wind back, you can. So let's go and continue with this. So, resigns, leaves office. That feels like more of a rebranding. That feels... Sorry, I found coffee as well. Cheers. Yeah. That feels as if... It feels as if it's a rebranding of the office, not necessarily the individuals themselves, if that makes sense. Specifically because I'm also seeing one of those circular doors. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but you see them in posh hotels at the front. Those circular push door things. I'm seeing that kind of cycle between public and private entities, but primarily it doesn't matter who's the figurehead. It's more about rebranding. I'll put the coffee down, it's fine. So, moon, darkness, rebranding once again, hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in plain sight. Well, yeah, the moon card. It's in the darkness, isn't it? Hidden in plain sight. I've just been... Sorry. I know some people go, but it's important. Hidden in plain sight, just as an example. And I got, I've done a big old spill years ago about when I was learning about this kind of stuff, the frustration of realizing how many generations have been lied to about spiritual growth and that kind of thing. Hidden in plain sight. 2 examples about the Vatican. There is a building. I can't remember. It's in the square thing, right? There's a building. If you look at it even, they have 2 clocks on it. I said clocks. Shh, behave. One is local time. One is spiritual time, which is based on the Jewish calendar. Okay. That is what I'm talking about when it's hidden in plain sight. There is also 2 sculptures, the people who will know, 2 sculptures of pine cones at the Vatican, and the obvious one, the ceiling of what's it called, with God and Adam, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. The obvious one that everyone goes on about is that God is on silks that make the shape of the brain. Okay, so it's hidden in plain sight. It's these individuals, these groups, they know the truth, bunny flops, of how to speak the right language to God's spirit universe, about the importance of time. The importance, even though some people, if you know, you know, all right, because I don't want to get into the complications of it, but why the pine cone, as an example, is directly relevant to the moon cycle, with the 3 moon chapters, as it were, each month instead of the 2. Okay, so it's hidden in plain sight. They know. We know that, or certain people know they know, and it's like, yet they teach you to do the Lord's Prayer, as an example, for Christianity, in speech form instead of internal voice form, if you get me. Just an example. Anyway, that's what I got from that. So there's a lot of it's like the Large Hadron Collider has a statue outside of it, and I can't remember. Please forgive me. I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the god. Well, I think it's a goddess actually. That was gifted to them, but it was it's concerning destruction, the god of destruction. I think is the direct quote. It's hidden in plain sight. Okay. These sorts of symbology, like symbols and mathematics and all that crap. Can you tell I've been researching for many years and trying to boil it down to the bare basics to go, just do that. Anyway, hidden in plain sight. Okay. This is also, I'm getting from this, especially the unclear message to it, is that themselves, they weren't expecting, because we were good little boys and girls during COVID. We listened, we lapped it up. Majority of us did what we were told to do. Yeah. It gave them the false sense of security that they'd finally broken us, as it were, and were able to like bulldoze through. Now they have no plan. They don't know what to do. Two of Cups, public burnout. Exactly. With the Tower pushing back, they don't know what to do. They literally showed their cards. I know yesterday or the day before we were talking about poker face and kind of like holding cards to your chest. Now they've exposed their card. Build back better. Do this, do that. Yeah. They've exposed themselves. They don't know what to do. Yeah. It's almost like a James Bond villain who, I know we're going back to kind of Dr. Evil and that kind of stuff, but it's like saying their entire plan and trying to escape and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's exactly that. The nasty person gives away their entire plan, and now they don't know what to do. Eight of Wands. Tensions escalate, aren't they just? High Priestess. Food shortage. Oh. This feels like a punishment. Hold on for a second. I'm going to cough again. I'm sorry. Oh, my throat is going. It was a tiggle earlier. It was a playful tiggle, and now it's just like, ugh. This feels like the resources we were talking about. It's not just food. Yes, we were talking about, like, yesterday. Where was it this week? The day before, Monday, we were talking about there was some sort of rationing food shortage. Not necessarily. I kept talking about electrical blackouts and stuff. Rationing. Then Tuesday, within 24 hours, Tesco's was talking about how they were going to basically ration people with certain foods and that kind of stuff. Then like yesterday, we were talking about progressive stuff, doubling down on that. And then all of a sudden, we've got everyone spouting everywhere, labeling themselves as progressive and blah, blah, blah. It's a weird kind of escalation cycle going on here. But this feels like that is what we were talking about on Monday. 9 of waking up, the enlightenment. See what I was saying? I hate to say, I'm not going to. Right. So 9 of Swords, the burdens, the baggage, what we were talking about, and how to become enlightened. Explosive situation. We're enlightened. We've woken up. Yeah. We're connecting to God's spirit universe, whatever you want to call it. This is phenomenal. Tower card, hiding something. I know I haven't referred to The Crown for some time. The historic documentary of The Crown. It's been a while since I watched it. This feels as if there's an episode where I can't remember the name of the report. Bugger. It was when there was a deal between what was it, Henry VIII? No, not Henry VIII. Oh, such a donut. Edward VIII, who abdicated, yeah? Edward and Hitler. And supposedly all the records about that connection and that kind of, dare I say, friendship was supposed to be destroyed and hidden. And then at some point in Queen Liz's reign, the records that were found were duplicated. Some were sent to historians in America. Some were here. They thought they had sealed it here, or sealed the whole situation, not realizing a duplicate had been made in America, and they were threatening to publish the stuff. Right? Okay. This is the same kind of feeling. The opening of that episode, which was the Nazi translator soldier who saved, they were supposed to be destroyed, was saving certain things to use as a bartering tool for save himself instead of going to court. And that's how they survived. The record survived, was for his own selfish interests, and he buried them in a forest. And that's the opening scene, is this random soldier fella burying it in the forest. So that's what the download, the image I was getting. There's something hiding something for later use. It's when this tower, it's like the energy I'm getting here is some form of collapse. It's like collapsing all the legislation of control apart from the core element that needs, as an example, the Human Rights Act from Tony Blair. There's more of them. There was a whole catalogue of them, but it's that sort of energy where the job isn't finished. It's not complete. There is something left over. Like the image I've just got there is like a big binder folder with kind of one of those paper tags on the side, kind of like little post-it note things you can get to kind of, there's like, it's earmarked. It's like, we'll clear it all apart from this one here because this kind of resets everything. It brings it all back. It's got that sort of energy about it. And it will need, I'll put this now on the record, and I don't know how it would come about. It will need trained people like, dare I say it, because I don't particularly like him, but the black belt barrister bloke, the one I do like, Stephen Barrett, I think his name is, those sorts of people to bring it to the attention of the wider person. Okay, it's that sort of energy. When this collapse happens, and this feels like legitimately kind of legislative, kind of falling apart, reset, whatever you want to call it. But it feels as if there needs to be that collective support between those two and more, probably, to bring to the attention, to read the details, to find this particular kind of what's left over. Yeah, because it's easily distracted with everything else being wiped clean to ignore it. This, okay, to complete the deal, or the cleanse, as it were. The Ten of Cups, lies and deception. I may need to double check. It's not fully coming through yet on that one. I'll come back. Queen of Swords. Underwater. This lot are panicking. They can't move. Okay. Yeah, this lies and deception is really miffing me off. The universe. Wrecked. Disaster. We've become enlightened again. Their project is been wrecked. Disaster. But we really, this is screaming at me. This is really quiet. This is let me, before we go do overarching and all that rubbish, let me dinky deck this. Because I don't like this Ten of Cups, lies, deception. High Priestess, Hermit again. So intuition and reflection. Can we clarify the lies and deception over the Ten of Cups, please? Can we clarify that for the greatest good? Thank you. Always be appreciative. Doop-a-doop-a-doo, dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Talk amongst yourselves for a bit. Da-ba-da-ba-da. If you haven't already, do the YouTube things. It genuinely helps me out, and I very much appreciate everybody who does that. So thank you to liking, subscribing, dingling the bell, and all that jazz. And also spread the word if you can as well. I haven't thanked everybody who is one of the ladies and gents of the Spam-A-Lot around other social medias and that kind of thing, and they're spreading the word of the channel and that kind of thing. So thank you very much indeed if everybody does that. That's genuinely so kind of you. Thank you so much. So these almost feel ready. In fact, they do feel ready. Okay, so you made me look silly. These almost feel, oh, they are done. Ting. Okay, fair. So, lies, deception. Thinking of new ideas, new possibilities. Seven of Pentacles, reviewing the situation. They'll be back for more. This doesn't feel like a doubling down. This feels like poisoning the well in some respects. It's like, why would you? It's almost, if you can imagine, people like Reeves, Stuttery Starmer, those sort of people. Walking people. Purposefully going out their way to kind of almost, it sounds crass, but kind of mind control the population to think that why would you want to be happy? It's pathetic. You know what I mean? But it's worded in a better way, but it's like, reviewing of what's worked before to try and double down. Then I don't like the image that I've got there with the Knight of Wands, where it's almost like a baton, kind of like, get back in your box, kind of get down. You don't want, utopia doesn't exist. Utopia is a meaningless enterprise. It don't, or Zion in Matrix, or do you know that happily ever after? It's a lie. It's manipulative. Get back. We can do it better together, and all that kind of stuff. That kind of control is what I'm seeing here. But it's a lie. It's deception. They're losing control. They want you to feel kind of ooh, and then get back under control. Yeah. Over Ace of Swords. Truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data. The truth. So the truth is quite simply I was going to pick it all up, but it's a lot. It's going to make a mess. Ten of Cups, truth. Lies, deception, they're trying to get you back in the box. Okay? And it's through rolling blackouts, lack of food, those sorts of things, that the resources being scarce that I picked up on Monday. Well, if we can help you out, we can this, that, and the other, instead of just disconnecting and growing your own food, or I don't know, creating your own electricity, or do you see what I'm saying? It's like there are technologies now to be able to do it locally. You don't need the grid. You don't need. You see what I'm saying? But they're like, oh, you will need us. Oh, you can't do it alone. We've got to, King of Cups. The King of Cups is a warning to you and your family and stuff like that. And this is being emotionally secure. Okay? This is, yes, it could, obviously it's on water, but grounded emotionally. Kind of understanding, resourceful, educated, in like solar panels, etc., whatever it may be, whatever particular resource that you're going to be dealing with. However, it's a situation here where with this sort of, and it's basically bullying to get you back in line, is a lie. The download I just got as an example, okay? Just an example to try and illustrate this bit. You know when change will happen or has happened when you're no longer referred to as a resource, a human resource, and instead you're back to personnel. You know, like as a person, a personnel, like, do you know what I mean? It's that kind of shift in language, shift in approach. Until that time, you're still under the guise, if you get me. You're still under the constraints. Okay? Yeah. So it's like, keep strong. Kind of keep grounded, keep control. The truth is real kind of thing. But they'll basically keep beating you over the head until you get back in your box. Okay? So. All right. Because, and what's interesting, because now we've worked that out, bringing it to the bigger reading here, because they're under pressure. They're drowning in their own arrogance and hubris. They're it's wreckage. Everything's falling apart. Yeah. So it's almost as if, I'm trying to get this download as well, but it's a bit kind of flaky. An animal will only be the most violent, the most obnoxious, the most dangerous when it's pinned into a corner, if you get me. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry, like I said, that was a bit flaky going through static there. Overarching energy, banking currency, underlying energy, society collapse. The last ditch attempt will be digital currency. Society collapse, though. This doesn't feel like this. This is almost like a warning to this. Okay. I was going to word it a different way, but this is where it's heading if this is allowed. Full control. Digitized. Okay. Same with digital ID. The whole thing will collapse if it's allowed to happen. If that makes sense. Right. I think we're time for an outcome, don't we? You know what? For some reason, I'm being asked to use this deck for my outcome. I don't know why, but I'm going to do it. It's normally just the extra, but I quite like this deck. It's quite nice. So, let's have a look. What's the outcome to this reading, please? What's the outcome to this reading, please, for the greatest good for all concerned? I've also been just nudged there to say that I'm just trying to bring it through again. This is going back to this clearing out of the back staff as well. Okay, so it's not just the figureheads. It's not just there's a whole it's a reason why it's kind of going this way, because it's almost like the low-hanging fruit are being caught up in silliness, and it's going to go up the chain, sort of thing. Once again, as an example, the BBC right now, and they're the leaked memos and all that kind of stuff. So, Wheel of Fortune, upright, straight out. Give and take, back and forth, balanced approach now. 10 of Swords. This is on the partnership. This is, over. The dawn of the new day. Okay. Tension escalating. Queen of Wands. Taking control back. She takes charge. Passionate about where she goes, what she does. Yeah. So not only do we have the 10 of Cups down here, you and me, having kind of the emotional well-being, the emotional grounding, that kind of stuff that I've been bashing on about, but now we're even taking charge and passionate about it. Yeah. 2 of 4 right now. Yeah. In this reading, this is lovely. Hierophant, law and order, rules, regulations. This is, when I was saying about like the double standards, 2-tier care, that kind of thing. But now we're having that clear out, the low-hanging fruit. Hierophant, here we go. Rules and regulations go both ways. This is why cancel culture is now going backwards instead of where they wanted to go. That kind of stuff. It's all being pushed back. It's all being rejected. It's all being returned to sender. Yeah? Now they can't cope with it. They don't like it. We're the good guys. Honest gov. We're progressive. Yeah? Oh, planting a new seed of opportunity. This is on us here being awoken. Yeah. Now we can do something that's truly meaningful to us and the community. Okay. This is where it's important to then kind of put this into context. Being one with ourself, being one with our community, our family and community, being one with God, Spirit, Universe. Okay? They're literally the 3 things here. Not one with the world, one world order, kind of all that tinfoil hat kind of stuff. But those are the principles there. One with ourself, one with family and community, one with the universe, tapped in energetically. Okay? This is the offer here. This is the opportunity here. This is the abundance that we've truly wanted to have. And it's kind of going back here, and I know reading's going on forever, but it's going back to the principles of we've been told a lie. We've been groomed into thinking that this is the route that we should be going down. That's why it doesn't taste right. It doesn't feel right. The wrong type of abundance. This is the real abundance. This is instead of the hoodwink, this is the clarity. This is the realness. Does that make sense? I hope so. This is what this offer is coming through as. This is the truth. You can be abundant like this way. Okay? Not the for some reason like MTV Cribs or like kind of like this false prophets of living in manors and all that kind of stuff, and flashy cars and like Lamborghinis and all that crud. His true abundance, his real abundance. That's what I'm getting from that, which I think is profound. 10 of Pentacles. There we go. And I think that's pretty much it. Sorry, I needed coffee. I'm so sorry. 10 of Pentacles. Exactly it. This is phenomenal. This is a huge game changer here. Okay? Because this is true wealth. Yeah, there's some there's like money in the bank and blah, 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 right? But this is true value, true wealth, true worth. Yeah? Because it's a different mentality. It's a different way forward. The trinkets are a lie. The shiny is a lie. This is the true kind of depth. This is, just to be current right now, this is the no need for the John Lewis ad this year. Yeah? The disconnect in the family and that kind of stuff. That's no need for it. Because the pressures, the restraints, the manipulation, the grooming, the whatever, especially with the education that they're saying that needs to be dumbed down and all that stuff allegedly today. It's all that. It's like it's cleansed away. Okay. Once again, the Page of Swords trying again. If this feels like the lies and deception again. This feels like it's in reverse again. That desperation to get back on their track. Yeah. Underwater, High Priestess. Intuition. Needs the intuition of kind of needing to hold out. Sorry, I'm being distracted by the amount of gold here, the amount of wealth here, the amount of worth here. They know it's over at this point, and the disaster at the end, strength to make it happen. The strength to make it, allow it to die. Overarching energy, judgment. Wow, the trumpet of truth. There you go. Calling out the BS, calling out the double standards, calling out the manipulation of the markets, calling out do you see what I'm saying? Calling out everything that is, all the legislation to control us all. This is massive. This truly is massive. Okay? Underlying energy. Rejecting what is offered. Rejecting it's almost like, I want to say the easy way out. Because like beating us back in the head to get back in the box kind of thing, and the lies again and the manipulation of data and blah, blah, blah. The strength to let it all go. The strength to go, we don't want jobs worths in our lives. Thank you very much. We're all right. And that's multiple departments. That is multiple different places and different parts of our lives. Some of it may be, this is what I'm being reminded of, is like Brexit all over again. And what I mean by that is the scaremongering. You can't do that. You can't leave Europe. You can't leave. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Are you this, that? Are you stupid? You just see what I'm saying? Okay. And what's happened? Okay. The people who wanted 3 times, was it? Labour 3 times to vote back in to go to, you answered wrongly. We want you to do another vote, please, if that's possible. Having the strength to go, no, we'll take the good and the bad of this. Enough's enough. Yeah? It's that sort of energy. Because that was chapter 1. Yeah? Obviously, we're talking about the EU here, WEF, alphabet spaghetti, UN, all that kind of stuff. And it's the strength to say, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah? And they will scaremonger and they'll worry and all that kind of stuff. But there is enough of us in the community here, not just here in the Greatest Good Village, but generally, that knew and knows how it was before. It's only ramped up in the last 20, 30 years or so. I was a baby, but my parents know. Your parents know. You may know. You know exactly how it used to be before all this crud got involved. And it's the strength to speak up and to go, no, it used to be a lot better. Thanks. It used to be much easier. Thanks. I'm being reminded of Uncle Tom has just got into my head. The ITV thing back in the day, which is normally kind of my symbol, my reminder of reminding about World War. and how before the World War II, it was loosey-goosey, everything was fine, primarily common law, all that kind of stuff, everything sorted itself out, that kind of stuff. And then after World War II, a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the infrastructure stayed. The control was taken and not given back. Yeah? And it's the strength to say it as so, and the strength to say it was better that way. Yeah? So, I'm sorry for waffling on. But I think this is a fundamental shift, as you can see in the cards here. It's a fundamental change of what we believe in individually, assessing what truly works, what is of value, assessing personally and in the community and as a family and that kind of thing. Where we want to be and how we want to, instead of it being decreed to us, actually wanting it, having the ability, and I'll finish off on this. None of us voted for any form of all this spending spree. None of us voted, even in the last general election. No one, the question of standing up and spending billions on Ukraine wasn't even mentioned. None of us have had questioned about that. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not having an opinion. I'm just saying we didn't have at no point has anyone asked the general public, actually, what do you want? It's been forced. It's been manipulated. It's been controlled. And this is having the strength, because there will be some babies in the bathwater being chucked out, is what I'm sensing here. But in comparison to the overall prize, they can be brought back in the I was going to say the new agenda, but it's the old agenda. It's going back, to how it used to be. Do you see what I'm saying? So the babies can kind of come back, but it's necessary to wipe the board clean and start from a certain point back in time to build up again, if you get me. And not even build up again. It's just more like that reset button. But it's the strength that's needed to keep this wreckage going. Okay? Right. Well, I'm definitely going to leave it here. I think this is now officially the longest reading I've ever done. And I don't mean to do this, but it's just like this. It's just so much coming through at the moment, and it needs its own bits to put it into context. So if you enjoyed this, please thumb me like. It generally helps out the channel. Thank you so much. Everybody does that. If it then pops up to say, do you want a hype? Please, that'd be lovely. Love kisses. If you're new here, subscribe, ding the bell and all that jazz. And also comment down below if you would like to, like Michelle, suggest future readings on this channel. Remember that I'm going on a holiday for about a week or so. I'm going, for a break. It was a cheap break in Wales, and the weather don't look good. Shocking, it's Wales. But, and then we're going to visit family. So it's going to be about a week or so, 10 days maybe. So I'm trying to record up to those. So if you want to put a question in, please put it back down below. Like the other 20 odd people who upvoted that, you can do the same of one's suggestions as well down below. However, until next time, where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again, take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.